The boy's name was Timothy. He lived in an old house with his mother and two younger siblings. His room was cluttered with books on every shelf, floor, and wall space available. The walls were adorned with framed photographs of people he had never met, each one bearing a title like Emily or James. There was no sign of toys, games, or any other objects that children typically collected. Timothy's mother often joked about his love for stories being the only thing he truly possessed. She would say things like, "If you were to grow up and leave this house, I'm not sure what we'd do with all these books." But Timothy didn't seem concerned. In fact, he seemed rather pleased. As time passed, strange occurrences began to happen around the boy. Doors creaked open by themselves, and objects would move on their own. The family started to notice that certain photographs were being rearranged or even torn from the frames. It was as if something had developed a fascination with Timothy's collection of stories. One stormy night, when the power went out, Timothy sat in his room surrounded by candles, reading one of his favorite books aloud to himself. The words seemed to come alive on the page, and he felt an unsettling presence beside him. As he read, the photographs began to change before his eyes. They were no longer just pictures, they had become living, breathing people who whispered eerie tales in Timothy's ear. And when he finally closed the book, the room was silent once more, except for a faint whisper that seemed to say, "I'll be waiting." The boy never spoke of what happened that night again, but his love for stories only grew stronger, and darker. The boy's name was Emrys. He lived in a small village surrounded by dense woods that whispered secrets to the wind. Emrys had an unusual hobby, collecting stories instead of things. His room was filled with dusty old books and yellowed scrolls, each one containing a tale from another time and place. As he grew older, his collection became more extensive, but so did his obsession. He spent every waking moment searching for new tales to add to his shelves. The villagers began to notice that Emrys's eyes took on an unsettling quality. They seemed to hold the weight of countless stories within them. His smile was a thin line across his face, and it made him appear more like a specter than a living being. One stormy night, as the winds howled through the village, Emrys ventured into the woods in search of new tales. He stumbled upon an ancient tome hidden deep within the trees, its cover adorned with strange symbols that seemed to shift and writhe like living things. As he opened the book, a chill ran down his spine. The stories contained within were not just any stories, they were the memories of those who had lived in these woods for centuries. As Emrys delved deeper into the tome's pages, the villagers began to notice that their own tales, the ones they thought were safe and secure, started to fade away. The wind whispered secrets in their ears, reminding them that some stories are better left untold. And when the storm finally passed, Emrys was gone, leaving behind only his collection of dusty old books and a room filled with an unsettling silence, for he had become one with the tales themselves, forever trapped within the pages of his own twisted storybook. The old man sat in his armchair, surrounded by stacks of dusty books and papers. His eyes gleamed with an unsettling intensity as he spoke to the boy who stood before him. "I've been collecting stories for years," he said, his voice low and gravelly. "Not just any stories, mind you. I'm talking about the darkest, most twisted tales that will make your skin crawl. The ones that'll haunt you long after we're done." The boy's eyes widened as he scanned the shelves, taking in the titles, "The Cursed Village," "The Haunting of Blackwood House," and "The Shadow in the Swamp." His fingers itched to touch them all, but his father warned him against it. "Be careful what you read," he said. "Some stories are better left unspoken." But the boy couldn't resist. He opened one at random, and as he began to read, a chill ran down his spine. The words on the page seemed to shift and writhe like living things, crawling under his skin with an otherworldly hunger. And when he finally looked up, his father's eyes were black as coal, empty of any warmth or love.